The solo peregrine is no match for the fierce determination of a flock of Arctic terns working together, and it retreats. For now, the sandwich terns return to their nests to incubate their eggs, under the protection of the Cemlyn Bay community.
Those amazing scenes of the peregrine, the terns, was all filmed here at this colony. This is the only sandwich tern colony in Wales. Now, the island was actually created by the landowner back in the 1930s, and the terns have been coming here, being monitored here since the 1980s. Now, what is interesting is the birds will start to arrive here mid-April to late April. They'll arrive here from their wintering grounds in West Africa. And once they get here, the important task is to begin pair bonding. Now, this is reinforcing their pair bonding. There's lovely courtship behavior, really sleek birds. They're elegant, but sleek too. And they're long-lived. They'll live for up to 12 years. They'll mate with the same partner for up to 4 years. And once mated, they'll lay their eggs, 1 to 2 eggs, and they'll sit on eggs for anything from 25 to 28 days. So that was filmed right at the start of the breeding season, back in April. That was then, this is now. This was filmed this morning right here at the colony. Now, the chicks have hatched. There are plenty of them on that island now. The chicks are precocial. They'll be hatched out in this downy covering. They're also very mobile right from the get-go. Initially, when they're quite small, they will stay close to the nest, close to the adults, but as they grow, as they start to get braver and bolder, they will start to roam around the island and start to inspect their new world. They also share that colony with the black-headed gull chicks as well. There's one there. It's bigger, it's mottled, a more mottled grey, and you can just about make out that pink hue on the legs there. So the colony is managed, as the reserve is, by the North Wales Wildlife Trust. And on that island there, they're relatively protected from ground predators, things like otters, foxes, even brown rats. But the other great thing about this location is the feeding ground. So they will feed right out to sea over there. They'll also head as far as the Menai Strait if they have to, bringing food back for those chicks. Now, the chicks are hungry, and we hear and see the adults coming in almost one every second, particularly at low tide where it's really active. And once they land, they've got to locate their chicks, often have moved off the nest, so they'll contact call and feed the chicks as well. So really, really important business here. It's a busy time. We're hearing them flying overhead. Risk of being pooped on, I must say, as well, but absolutely fascinating. We'll see these terns coming back each time with a single sand eel, or maybe other species as well, in their beaks. But it's not all the serious stuff about food. There has been a few amusing moments as well on this island, particularly watching those chicks. Now, the chicks have high ambitions, as all chicks do. They hope one day to fly. And so this one here is definitely starting to exercise, trying to build up those flight muscles, flapping its wings, but also, I would say, very determined, taking leaps, determined to be airborne there. Such fascinating animals to watch. Really amazing to see these chicks starting to stretch their wings, getting stronger, and hoping, of course, one day to take to the air. And of course, it is cute to see, but there's some serious business at the end of that. By the time they're adults, they need to be able to fly out, forage great distances, and watching these adult terns around here has been an absolute treat. Now, these here aren't the sandwich terns, they're other species, but they all use the same hunting strategy. They'll have this very flighty, delicate movement and then dive down with those sharp beaks that help them to pierce through the water. And if you're watching terns from a distance, if you're not sure, in amongst other seabirds, watching that very characteristic floaty flight, plus those sudden dives into the water, a good clue that you've got terns there. Now, the terns have been absolutely wonderful to watch, but there is a really, really glamorous species that has recently turned up and is making the local bird news, if you like, and it's a pair of avocets. Now, we filmed these a few days ago doing what avocets do best, looking so beautiful, so elegant. Now, the wardens here have been going through their records. They've been scouring the records, the birds of Anglesey, and they have not found a single record of avocets breeding on Anglesey. So this is a real milestone. Last year, they said they did have a pair that spent a few days here, but they didn't settle, they didn't set up a nest. So these birds are definitely on nest. You can see that one there trying to organize those long, stilty legs and sits down on the eggs. So if that nest is successful, Chris, Michaela, we're very excited because that will be the first successful nesting pair of avocets on Anglesey. How about that?
Wow.
Fantastic stuff. The march of the avocet goes on. They seem to be spreading all around the coast. And such a beautiful bird. It's great to have them there now in North Wales.